my trues, clues aficionados. I hope that life is being good to you out there. I hope you're paying attention to life's trues, clues around you, keeping yourself safe, ready to say something. If you see something, prepare to help your fellow man as well. And with that, I want to discuss a case that I recently came across, and it is a Colorado case. It's an extremely sad case. It's a case where a lot of human beings are going to end up sooner or later lonely and alone, maybe for a short period of time, maybe for a long period of time. But when your emotions are in a turmoil and you're hurting, it is real easy for people to take advantage of your ass, and they'll do it without any compunction at all. There's good people and bad people in this world, and sometimes you don't know who is who until they come and rock your world and turn it upside down. And for family members and family crime, that is the worst thing about being family. And I totally believe in putting families first, but family can also be a determinant in certain situations. So that brings me to the case I want to discuss today, and the game is afoot. So let's get into it. On November 1st of 2021, Lakewood Police Department agents responded to a call about an 81-year-old Gail Wilson, whose home was on Reed Street. Around 6:30 p.m., after several concerned family members reported that they had not been able to get in contact with them, they thought they would go check it out, the arrest affidavit says. The family member said he had not shown up for planned family events that night. Before the fact, he was not answering the phone, which was extremely unusual, the document says. When at the home, agents contacted two people that were staying there, Perez and Savannah Wilson. Savannah Wilson, who reported that Gail Wilson had left in his truck to run errands around 3 p.m. on October 31st and had never returned, according to her. Well, Savannah Wilson was adopted by Gail. It was his great-granddaughter or something like that, and wanted, keep her in the family, probably loved her since he's seen her, and decided to go ahead and adopt her. And then the mother had passed away. This is what put him into a tailspin. She described Gail as a homebody and said that he had lost his wife in May of 2021 and was taking it hard. They do. When you've been married to a person for a long time, it's like your other half, literally. And a lot of people don't survive through that. They usually end up passing away sooner or later, but definitely not under these insidious circumstances. Early in the investigation, a Denver probation officer for Perez contacted Lakewood police about a suspicious contact he had with Perez. The affidavit says the PO reported that he had scheduled a meeting with Perez on November 1. And during that meeting, Perez gave very odd information. Because killers, if they have any kind of a conscience, it's really hard for them, to cover up the crime. You got to be a special time of mental in your head to be able to get past that. And he had discussed a very recent angry argument with Gail, who identified as Savannah's father in the report that he made. Perez talked about paying Gail Wilson $1,000 for rent and said that Gail Wilson had left and never returned. Perez went on to explain to the PO that the reason he had contact with law enforcement because of that, him missing or whatever. My ass. The police parole officer or PO also said that he noticed a large cut on Perez's hand and asked them about it. Perez said he told the PO he sliced it on a tomato slicing machine, according to the documents turned in. The PO said he also felt Perez's answers to his questions were over-explanative and odd. You do that when you lie and you're nervous, and wanted to report it to the Lakewood police in case there was a missing person report. Detectives began interviewing relatives of Gail Wilson and learned that his adopted daughter Savannah that Gail's wife died, learned from his adopted daughter that Gail Wilson's wife had died in May 2021, and that the next month, Savannah Wilson and Perez moved into his home, probably feeding him some kind of bullshit line like, yeah, we're going to move in, we're going to take care of you, you're not going to be lonely anymore, huh, Dad? I can move in and make you feel good and try to take care of you now that Mom's gone. This his adopted daughter also reported. She said that the three of them were supposed to be paying rent because there was another friend, I guess, that moved in there with them as well. But Gail had been very upset because they're not paying rent, they're not buying groceries, they're probably not cleaning the house, they're just trashing it, sitting around on their ass all day. This had him pretty upset. He didn't know how to handle it. And he's an old man. He's 83 freaking years old. That's how it was so easy to take advantage of him. Plus, this little girl had a soft spot in his heart because she could wheedle him out of tea and china for that. She reported that she had spoken to Gail, this is the stepdaughter, on the phone October 29th and described him as being in tears and very upset over an altercation he'd had with Savannah Wilson and Perez. Gail Wilson said that Perez had been driving his truck without his knowledge and had damaged it. He'd been working his whole life for his stuff, and he ain't going to be able to work anymore or get anything fixed. He's going to take care of what he has. But once he seen that the car was damaged, he took the keys from Perez. And Perez probably just went on a slow simmer at that point in time because people like him who are bullies already feel like they own the place. So he's probably, how dare you take my shit or tell me what the hell to do. At the time, the affidavit says Perez got in Gail Wilson's face and yelled at him. His adopted daughter asked if the argument got physical, and Gail declined to answer. That poor man. She reported that every Sunday, Gail came over to her house for a game night, and it was a long-standing tradition, and he never missed a night. I don't like missing family events either. I don't care how often it happens. I love my family. I want to be with them all the time. It makes time go by, and it makes me feel appreciated. He confirmed in October that he was coming over the following night and was looking forward to beating them at cards. Detectives interviewed the grandson of Gail Wilson, who had lived with him for about 3 years, the affidavit says. He reported that he had lived there until the summer of 2021, and he was kicked out after Savannah and the others moved in. They're probably major assholes about the whole thing, too. It would have been a much better life for that old man had he stayed with his grandson. He explained, according to the affidavit, that Savannah had a lot of influence over Gail and believed that she had manipulated him into kicking him out. He had lived there a number of years and he had never heard Gail Wilson use the word errands. So that just struck a chord with him. He doesn't talk like that. Why is he out running errands? He said anytime Gail Wilson left the house, he provided specific information about where he was going, such as to the bank or to the grocery store. That's what old people do. They tell you where they're going to go. They're going to be gone for how long. And it's, this new world. We feel like we have no ties. You just go about your business. My family is not like that either. We keep track of each other. We want to make sure that they're safe. If I go down the mountain to Denver and I come home, I usually have to check in with family members to let them know, that I'm here okay. I appreciate that. It makes me feel loved. And I'm sure this man felt loved when he was with his adopted daughter too. Gail's biological son reported that he had plans to meet up with Gail on October 31st and could not reach him. He reported that he tried to get into his father's house to see him, but Savannah stopped that, would not let him in. Investigators pinged 2 phones belonging to Gail, which pinged in Denver in the area of East 10th Avenue and Pearl Street on the evening of October 31st and the morning of November 1. Like, what the hell? When asked about that, his children said Gail Wilson never went downtown. I don't either if I can help it. And I usually will try to take a bus because it's gnarly. It's like a big octopus. All the streets come into downtown Denver and it's really, really stressful. You can get used to it if you're driving in it all the time, but if you only go there once in a while, it's just aggravating. When asked about that, his children said that he never went downtown because he hated driving in the area. Savannah told investigators the three roommates gave Gail $1,000 in cash for rent, as they routinely did, and reported that Gail Wilson left to run errands again 3 p.m. on October 31st and never returned. She was unable to say what those errands were. Like, big bullshit. And if he was that type of person all along, he would have been that way with the other family members as well. But it's very clear that he wanted to be very cohesive and concise with his family. When interviewed, a detective noticed an obvious cut on Perez's hand, and when asked about it, he provided the detective with a completely different account of how he got the injury than what he previously told his PO. Hard to keep your lies straight when you're telling too many lies. The detective also noticed that Perez repeatedly referred to Gail Wilson in the past tense. Well, if that's not a shocker and a confirmation, because your subconscious mind takes over, you know this person's no longer present on the planet Earth in a physical, corporeal form anymore. Savannah Wilson admitted to the detectives in the days before Gail's murder that she and Perez watched videos on YouTube about where trash goes after the trash company picks it up. Based on the circumstances of his disappearance, a search warrant was granted for Gail's home November 4th. Well, that did turn up some information. A large section of cutout carpet stretching from the hallway near the bathroom to the bedroom of Savannah Wilson and Perez. Towels covering the area of the removed carpet. Large staining on the subfloor once the towels were removed. Stain tested positive for blood. Visible spatter in various locations that also tested positive for blood. It sounds like once they took the carpeting out, that they didn't have a problem with everything else that was there. They're so stupid to think that people ain't going to come looking. But at the same time, why cover it up? Because blood is always found somewhere when you kill somebody like in a very violent fashion. And apparently what the third roommate said about him falling in the hallway and Perez jumping on him sounds pretty damn true. When asked about the missing carpet, both Savannah Wilson and Perez said that they were painting the bedroom pink and had spilled paint, that Gail Wilson was home when that happened. And yet he never told anybody about it. He was just fine with that. I'm making air quotes. No, old people are not like that. They get real pissed off. And like I said, he don't have no money to come from anywhere anymore to be fixing shit like that. What the hell? They also reported that they had rolled up the carpet and put it out with the trash on November 3rd, the affidavit says. Pardon me. When the detective asked where they had started painting, they explained that the paint had spilled prior to them doing any painting. Convenient, huh? Can't paint if you don't have any paint, and gosh, the whole damn paint got spilled. So to hell with that project. The affidavit went on to say, detectives located a video of Gail Wilson's truck driving in Lakewood and Denver on October 31st between 3 and 4 p.m. And it appeared to have, guess what? A rolled up carpet in the back consistent with missing carpet from the home. Oh my gosh, this is so Chris Waddy. There's just so many touch points here, you know, wrapping up bodies, taking them out to the truck, throwing them someplace erroneous. Yeah, welcome to colorful Colorado. The truck was seen in another video shortly after 4 p.m., but this time the items in the back were gone. Curious. Game afoot. According to the affidavit, Jake Griffith also initially reported that the three of them gave Wilson cash for rent, as they had always done since they moved in June. He too said Gail left around 3 p.m. for errands and never returned, according to the affidavit. I think that's called everybody getting your story straight. It's better when you know you're going to be questioned if all people have the same story to tell. On November 11th, Perez was arrested at the home of Reed Street on outstanding warrants. Both Savannah and Griffin were there at the time of the arrest and were taken to the police station for interviews. And the plot thickens. Griffith was told he was not in custody and was free to leave at any time, the affidavit said. However, he decided to make a statement to police that detailed the crime, probably because his subconscious and guilt was getting to him and he didn't do it. He ain't trying to go to jail for life. He admitted he was in the home when Gail was killed. The affidavit said Griffith said Gail tripped and fell in an upstairs hallway and that he saw Perez go up and finish him off, according to the document. Griffith said Perez beat Gail Wilson with his fist and that Savannah was sitting on the couch in the living room and also saw what happened. Probably trying to act like she didn't see it so she didn't have to be culpable in it, but yet she really wanted it to happen. He reported that he went to the basement as the beating continued and came back upstairs about 20 minutes later, according to the affidavit. At the time, Griffith said he found Gail Wilson deceased partially in a bedroom, partially in the hallway. Griffith also reported blood on the bedroom walls, hallway walls, the carpet, and Perez's hands. Big surprise there. He reported that Perez told him to go get some plastic from the garage, and he went and retrieved what he described as a black plastic roofing plastic. The affidavit said Griffith said he cut the plastic and then he and Perez laid it out and placed Gail Wilson's body on it and wrapped it up. What the hell? You're just signing your death warrant. Or you getting involved in something that's none of your business and not calling the cops. Griffith said Perez then used a box cutter to remove the carpet, according to the affidavit. He was carried the carpet, the 2 trash bags, and a white hamper outside near Gail Wilson's truck. The 2 of them then carried Gail Wilson's body to the truck, placed it in the bed, and put the other items on top of it, trying to hide the body. Griffith said they drove Gail Wilson's truck to the Cherry Creek area of Denver and removed all of the evidence and placed it in a dumpster in an alley. According to the affidavit, they drove for a while before eventually removing Gail Wilson's body from the truck bed and placing it in a different dumpster. After that, Griffith said they abandoned the truck and walked to a nearby park where they changed clothes in a portable restroom, placed their clothes in a trash bag, and threw them away in a park trash can. Griffith told investigators they got on a bus and went home. That is so crazy. That is so freaking crazy. Griffith agreed to assist investigators with efforts to locate the dumpsters where the items were dumped. Over a 1-week period, he went with detectives and located the dumpster where he believed the evidence was dumped, but not Gail's body. He was later able to find a dumpster where he thought they placed his body, but was not positive. Lord help them all. When asked Friday, Lakewood police would not say whether they had located the evidence or Gail Wilson's remains, citing the open investigation cover. Savannah Wilson, who was biologically Gail's great niece, but Gail and his wife adopted her as a baby, according to Gail's other daughter. When asked whether she killed her father, she said no. When asked whether her boyfriend killed him, she said not on purpose, laying groundwork for their upcoming trial, I guess. For the first time, we've heard the claim that this is not an accident. There are still a lot of questions to be answered about what happened after that. And I imagine that the truth is going to come out, but how sad for Gail Wilson and Gail Wilson's family. It sounds like he was truly loved and that he truly tried to reach out and be an important part of his family. And then these scums, these, what do you call them? Bed bugs, come in and just usurped him and sucked all the life right out of him. So, my Trues Clues aficionados, I hope that you enjoyed this, learning about the situation and learning how to be cautious of people like that. I don't know that it's narcissists are very hard to deal with. But best of luck to the clan that he's got left over, and best of luck to him in his otherworldly life. If you see something, say something. Should I say that right? See something, say something. Oh my gosh, my mouth doesn't want to work too well. And stay safe out there. Love you guys. I'm really going to try to be growing my channel this year. So if you would like and subscribe, and if you feel like helping me to grow my business, you can buy me a cup of coffee at buyacupofcoffee.com. Love you guys. See you next Monday. Take care now.